overall mission of our Flutter team is to get as much as possible with less resources. So for example, one person can build a whole product for the customer, and we can get multiple apps running with a single code base and ship new features or new we can ship the improvements or some bug fixes with a single change to all the operating systems. So this multi-platform development is really helping us here to get more with less, and all of these roadmap items are targeting exactly this. So we try to reduce the bottlenecks or to remove some blockers so that we get a smooth developer experience and faster product iterations, so that we can keep both the developers and our customers happy while building high quality software faster. The vision for the roadmap is that we start with simple things and go deeper into more complex ones, so that we can build on the basics and keep our fast pace, so that we can work in smaller steps and build on top of our existing experience. The message is that we have so many different approaches in Flutter. When the developer comes from, for example, web development background, it's completely different to what the person would have in mind coming from some desktop or backend or mobile development. So in order to efficiently collaborate as Appsfactorians inside Flutter team, we have to build some common understanding of our best practices and to start agreeing on some good ones. So for example, when we come to a project, we have less context switch. When the developer comes to a project, we are all on the same page about our best practices. When it comes, for example, to automated testing or to code style that we are applying, then we have the same opinions about our continuous delivery process and can go forward with less bottlenecks and high developer satisfaction. Flutter has an open ecosystem, and we are happy when somebody joins the team from a different background, from mobile or from backend. With these template projects, we've got you covered with all the best practice templates that we have, so that we can quickly onboard you to the team and keep working together in a fast pace. Apart from the project template, there can be some features that don't really fit into every project, but still it can be helpful to have them in our skill set or in our tool set, so that we can go and have a quick reference. For example, when doing some estimations for upcoming projects, that we already have similar feature implemented in our internal repository, and then we can estimate that with confidence how much would it take to implement something like this. So it gives us of course a room for learning, because then there should be a place for the team to experiment with new things that we don't have too much experience with, and of course then it works as a reference where we can go and look, okay, so this was implemented here and it can have potential pitfalls in some areas, or it's very basic, and then we can have more confidence in applying this to the project. Localization is something that takes time in each project, and we have to do it in our standardized way anyway. So yeah, in order to save the time and effort for us, it's easier to just apply the template and get your localization in a few seconds up and ready. This is only part of Flutter bricks topic that we have on the roadmap, and this and more detailed tickets we have on our roadmap. In automated testing is crucial for any successful project, or we can say that automated testing is very important for project success and for the quality of the software, and it's very important for us to invest into improving our testing strategies, our practices that we apply. Of course, it's on our roadmap to go deeper into things such as integration testing or snapshot testing, also known as golden testing in Flutter, that allows us to work with automated testing on different scales so that we can get the most out of it. In general, that all the developers on the team have the option to apply best practices in testing on their projects without a lot of unnecessary efforts, so that it's first is easier to set up, it's easier to understand. Quality benefits that we get in the end are paying off the efforts that we are investing, because the testing gives us way better design of the software itself, so that it's more it's loosely coupled and more cohesive. It's important to have more visibility into code base health in general, and code analysis is a part of that. As part of our roadmap, we want to improve this visibility of the code base health. What are the code smells on the project, for example, or it can be really helpful to keep an eye on some things like amount of warnings on the project or general code complexity. It's important to work with things like static code analyzers. That's why we are looking for alternatives for things like Sonar Cloud, trying to make it work in our Azure environment, so that we have everything integrated in Azure DevOps and without requiring a lot of additional services. One of the topics on the roadmap is Firebase integration, and as Firebase is already quite popular in the Flutter ecosystem, we want to have a better set of guidelines that make those services even easier to work with for our internal team. External libraries topic comes down to again the code base visibility, the code base health visibility, and that we are able to understand better what is the state of the project, what are the potential problems on the project. So if some third-party dependencies have some issues, it's important for us to get a quick feedback about that and notify developers that there is something to do on the project, so that it doesn't become a surprise later in the development cycle when we are about to release. The approach we use here is to fail fast and try to shift as many checks and verifications to the left, in the process as possible. For continuous integration and continuous delivery, there is still a room for improvement in our team, and we in order to support all of those best practices like automated testing and code-based health checks, to be able to iterate quickly with high quality of the software, and at the same time with a high speed. Automation is really necessary. I prefer things to be as automated as possible, so that from the commit state to the release, all the stages should be automated. In the end, we get higher confidence when it comes to releases, as well as better software quality. One of the goals for this year for Flutter team is to expand our support for various other operating systems and deployment targets, so that we can, for example, develop for smart TV with Flutter, or build apps for desktop, which is one of the stronger sides of Flutter framework, because it allows us to do those things out of the box, and in order to fully use this cross-platform aspect of Flutter, we have to go beyond mobile. Besides this, we also want to expand our support for hardware integrations, so that we can cover most of customer requirements with things like Bluetooth integrations or Chromecast integration, for example. Then we have it in our skill set and can apply on all the projects. Flutter team is still a young team, and there is a lot of room for us to grow. We start small by participating in some tech conferences together, just in online format, that we watch some Google conference live stream and discuss it along the way. But of course, there is a lot of opportunities for us to share the knowledge. It can be an article writing, or it can be participation in community meetups, so that we have a lot to learn and a lot to talk about. The result of this team learning, we also get higher expertise in general, and we can understand better which projects are the best candidates for Flutter, or that, for example, something will require native implementation.